Do you want to know if the Wethepeople Crysis is actually a high quality bike? Are you thinking about spending $500 to $700 on the Wethepeople Crysis, but you want to make sure that it's actually a good investment? In this video, we're going to review the Wethepeople Crysis, and I'm going to help you understand if this is a perfect bike for you or if you should avoid it and get something else. So the Wethepeople Crysis is actually changing the game for a lot of BMX riders right now because it's on sale. You can find this bike for 30% off at Danscomp, and this price point is getting a lot of new people interested in the Crysis, and it might just be the best value bike. Let's talk about it. Now, this is a really good looking bike, but it might not be the right bike for you. To become a confident rider, you need to find a bike that fits you and your style perfectly. If you request a free bike recommendation by clicking the link here on the screen and tell me a little bit about yourself, I'm gonna find 3 perfect bikes for you and then I'll send them to you in your email. The Crysis might be on this list, but it also might not. There are a lot of different factors for new BMX riders, and you need to get the perfect bike if you want to be set up for success. The Wethepeople Crysis is a mid-level BMX bike, meaning that it has a good amount of core components that are designed to last a long time with mid-level riding. It's not a super high-end bike, but it's also not a piece of garbage. The reason that it's classified as a mid-level bike is because it comes with a full chromoly frame, full chromoly handlebars, full chromoly forks, chromoly cranks, double wall rims, with all of those quality components being full chromoly as opposed to high tensile steel, and double wall rims as opposed to single wall rims. This bike is going to last for serious riders who want something that can withstand pretty decent tricks, and they're just designed to last longer than weak high tensile steel or weak single wall rims. High tensile steel BMX bikes tend to bend over time when you're learning spins. If you case a jump, they're just not very durable. And single wall rims do the same thing. I was learning tail whips. I tried a tail whip. My back wheel hit the ground pretty hard, and then my back wheel turned into a taco. And so that's why double wall rims are important if you're riding at a mid-level. Another thing that contributes to that mid-level quality is the fully sealed bearings. These last much longer than unsealed bearings. It also has a handful of aftermarket Wethepeople and Eclaw parts. These aftermarket parts give the bike extra style, they last longer, and ultimately look better. This bike is a pretty well-rounded bike. I would say it can be modified to ride street, to ride park, or to ride dirt, but as it comes right out of the box, I'd say it's very well-rounded. I think with this bike, if you're looking at riding any specific discipline, you can make modifications to make it more specific for that. For example, if street riding is your thing, buying pegs, buying hub guards, buying 4-piece bars, and maybe a free coaster would tweak this bike and make it better for street specific riding. If dirt's your thing, upgrading those tires to be more dirt specific, getting a bigger sprocket in the front, and maybe even some taller handlebars, those would modify it for dirt riding. You have options here, and if you're curious about what modifications to make this bike specific for a certain type of riding, join the BMX Nerd Discord and ask it in there. There's almost 1,000 BMX riders in there ready to help you, answer your questions, and help you figure out what upgrades are best. The reason that it is well-rounded and it's not for any specific type of riding is because it doesn't have any kind of crazy geometry that steers it in one certain direction, and it also doesn't have any specific aftermarket parts or any specific extras that would make it better for a certain type of riding. This is really cool, and this is really important if you are unsure about your desired discipline. When I was riding, I wasn't sure what I really liked to do. I'd ride a little bit of street, then go to the skate park, and then ride dirt jumps when I could find them. And so my riding's always been very well-rounded, and I like to have the option to ride whatever I want. I'm not a hardcore street rider or a hardcore park rider. I like to be more versatile. And if you're like that, this bike is going to be perfect for you. Let's go over some of the unique features that this bike comes with. It has a Salt Moto brake lever and Eclaw Talon U-brakes. These are pretty decent brakes, but they are removable. So if you're not a brake person, you can take these brakes off. If you are a brake person, just know that this bike comes with a pretty decent set of brakes. It comes with extra wide Wethepeople Overbite 2.35-inch tires. These are pretty beefy tires, and they're going to be good for street, and they're going to be good for dirt. I want to mention the alloy Wethepeople Logic sprocket. This is much better than steel. This alloy sprocket's going to last longer, and it's also going to be quite a bit lighter. it has a We the People supply chain. This is a 510 chain, which is a lot better than the 410 chains that you're going to see on beginner level BMX bikes. It has a 48mm reach front load We the People Logic stem. This is more park specific and it's pretty close to the front end, meaning the bar spins are going to be a little bit easier on it. It's also fully CNC machined, and this makes it lighter and stronger since it's cast out of one block of aluminum. This bike weighs 26.32 pounds. It's a fairly light bike, all things considered. I think you could take off the brakes and you can modify a few things and get this bike under 25 pounds. Since this is a mid-level BMX bike, according to the pricing index that I put together, this bike should cost anywhere between $500 and $699. So if you can find the We the People Crysis within that price range, you're getting a good deal. If you can find it for less than $500, it's a crazy good deal, and if someone's trying to charge you more than $699, don't buy it because it's overpriced. So We the People includes a 12-month warranty against all manufacturer defects on this bike. So if you do buy this bike and you have something go wrong with it and they determine that it's a manufacturer defect, you will be able to get that taken care of. Just make sure that you have the original receipt to show them that you're the original owner of this bike, and they want to make sure that your frame, forks, and handlebars have not been tampered with in any way. Don't sandblast it, don't sand it, don't paint it, just leave everything original, and within that year, if you have any manufacturer defects, they're going to take care of it for you. Outside of that, a big reason that I buy all of my parts from Dan's Comp is because they go above and beyond to make sure that you get taken care of. If you buy this bike from Dan's Comp and you do have an issue with it, just call them, ask them about it, and they'll do everything in their power to make sure that you're taken care of and that you're satisfied with your purchase. I've seen them do this for a number of different complete bikes, and I think it's awesome, and that's the reason that I buy from Dan's Comp. Okay, so let's describe the perfect person for this BMX bike. The perfect person for this bike, if they get the 20.5-inch version, is between 5'6" and 5'9". The perfect person for the 21-inch version is above 6 foot. If you're in those height ranges, this is a good bike for you based on the top tube size. The perfect person's riding style is not too specific at anything. The perfect person rides a little bit of street, a little bit of park, and a little bit of dirt. I'd say the perfect person weighs under 220 pounds. If you weigh over that, you probably want to look for a pro-level BMX bike. This is a decent quality bike. It's a mid-level BMX bike, but all things considered, I think if your weight is too much, you will still stress these mid-level components. It is full chromoly, but it's not Senko chromoly, it's not fully aftermarket, and those are some things you want to consider if your weight's over 220 pounds. So the perfect rider weighs under 220 pounds. And the perfect person isn't too crazy with tricks. The perfect person is a mid-level rider. They're probably doing 180s, 360s, maybe working on bar spins, working on tail whips, but they're not a super high-end rider. This bike can hold up to mid-level riding, and that would be all. So if this sounds like you, then this is a great bike for you. And I suggest clicking the link in the description to buy it from Dan's Comp because like I said, they've got it on sale right now and they also take care of people who buy from them. Some similar bikes that you could check out after this one would be something like the Kink Whip, the Fly Proton, and the Sunday Forecaster. Those are all close to quality, close to price. They're all very similar. And if you're really on this bike buying journey, you want to check those bikes out. The last thing I want to add here is that this bike is not one of the top 11 BMX bikes in 2023. But if you want to see which bikes are in the top 11 bikes for 2023, click this video here on the screen and we'll see you guys later.